Hello everyone. We have finally cleaned up all the contents off the floor in this primary bedroom. I need to get these dressers out of here and attend to the items in the closet, and then we can start tearing up the carpet. A little wall art that'll get rehomed to someplace nice. Would you look at that? A cleaned up floor and mostly vacuumed, ready for the carpet to be pulled up next. These items in the closet are next. My wife spent about 20 minutes fingering through every shirt in here and looking at them closely. None of these are really our size, but we know other people in town would probably enjoy this style. And we'd really rather not just throw everything away because it doesn't fit us. But here's the hard part and the truth. After looking at the shoulders of all these clothes as I was picking them out, there's a lot of urine that's on the shoulders, and I don't think we could actually donate these clothes. So unfortunately, a lot of these are just going to get thrown away. There are a few outfits that might get worn again. I'll give her this though, the lady of the house did have a pretty good sense of style. If we found anything that was clean enough to be donated, we did try to set it aside and make sure it got a new home. You know, when you're picking through things, you realize that someone spent a good part of their life acquiring all these items, and you want to do them justice. Well, we're almost through the closet. It'll be nice to finally be done with all the sorting. I'm ready to get into deconstruction mode. How about you? As you can see, the years of holding up all these clothes took its toll on this rod. I'm going to get everything out of here so we can start fresh. If you've ever taken apart something that somebody else built, it can get a little frustrating when you're pulling out screws and you realize that the heads of the screws keep changing. Now I've got to go back and find another bit. I'll finish taking off these brackets, then I'll change over to the star bit and take care of the shelf above. I realized it later, the shelf was built as two separate pieces. I was trying to get it out as one whole piece. It proved to be a little bit more difficult than I expected. As I've been taking apart everything in this closet, my wife and I had many conversations about what we want to actually do with this closet in the future. There isn't an exact design yet, but I think it's going to be a custom closet, something with some shoe racks, maybe even a built-in dresser. No matter what the final design ends up being, having these doors off will make it a lot easier. Once this bottom slide rail is off, the carpet should come up a lot easier. Two more vent screws and we're ready for carpet removal. It's usually easiest to start at a door. However, as I got this pulled up, I realized that right under the corner of the wall, it seemed like the carpet was under the wall. I later realized that it was just the type of staples they used were very difficult to pull up, and so the carpet was stuck. It ripped rather easily, so I started there. This corner and the vent were the hardest in the room. They used a lot of staples and didn't use those typical wood tack strips around the vent. I took a lot more time in this area, but I was hopeful that the rest of the carpet would pull up much easier. Because of these staples, I think it's going to be easier to use a utility knife and cut the carpet out initially. I can come back later with a pair of pliers and pull each of the staples and the little bits of carpet that are left. You know, sometimes the struggle makes it all that more satisfying when it's finally done. And believe me, this corner of the room gave me plenty of struggle. I started off using the utility knife in this closet, but as I pulled everything up, I realized it wasn't needed at all. And the sides of the room came up really easy. It was folded over and then stapled. Because of the fold, the staples actually pulled up pretty easily with the carpet. That made me a little bit happier. Because of the massive amount of mouse droppings and rat droppings, I kept the mask on and folded everything up when I carried it out. The original mat underneath the carpet was pretty thin and fell apart a lot. Bit of water damage, and unfortunately these weren't the only two spots. Once I got all the padding up, the back corner had the most water damage in the whole room. I'll have to fix the leaks, but that's for another day. Join us next time.